Microdose, yeah. Microdose, 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 dose. Microdose, microdose, dose. Microdose, microdose, dose.
What's good, y'all? Cochet's here coming to you with the newest edition of the Microdose. Hope you're having a fantastic summer. I am burdened, but blessed and overwhelmed all at the same time with work and glorious purpose. We got a brand new guest, Jenna M. Fryer. You can find more details about her at jennamfryer.com. Jenna, what's good, y'all?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little tongue-tied, apparently. Otherwise, I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's just like you. I've been blessed with a lot of things to do, but
Yeah.
it's hard.
It was crazy
It's
because
tiring.
there was literally like almost 2 years of just nothing. And then all of a sudden, thanks to the Golden State Warriors, like I've been working steadily since May, but like those time gaps are just stretching me thinner and thinner. So, I feel lucky, but also, yeah, little tired right now.
I hear that.
Back in October, I had the pleasure and privilege of meeting you down in Burbank, California, on the set of Pact of Vengeance, the Len Kabaczynski film, Killer Wolf Films' newest venture. You play Angie, the late great Leo Fong's granddaughter. And what was the process of that? Like, how'd you get involved in Pact of Vengeance in such a prominent role too?
Well, I ended up getting the part in Swamp Zombies 2, which is another Len Kabaczynski movie. And with no prior acting experience and a little tiny bit of stage martial arts experience,
Right.
I was primarily just a martial artist and, didn't really know too much, but a little bit about stage combat. And I got the part as Pam, which is never mentioned. My name is never mentioned in Swamp Zombies too.
Oh.
But
One slight detail.
But I love that name. Yeah. But her name was Pam.
Mhm.
And ever since then, I just have been working for him. So with this one, I was offered the part pretty early on.
Okay.
And yeah.
Is this something
and
that
the
he
rest
like
is
wrote
history.
specifically for you? Like, does he come up to you at the gym just like, Jenna, I need you to see the latest here, and this is for you. Like,
Pretty much. Like I get it
oh, that's
emailed
fresh.
to me, and I know that I will be because of my martial arts experience.
Mhm.
I know that I'll be getting some kind of like role where I get to do some combat, which I love doing.
Mhm.
And so, anytime I jump at the opportunity to do something like that.
Yeah. Pact of Vengeance is currently available on the Killer Wolf Films Patreon's account, and for as little as $2, you can watch not only Pact of Vengeance but everything else in the Killer Wolf Films catalog. But in POV, you actually have like one of the first fight scenes. You have the first fight scene, even, don't you?
I think I do. In the time frame, I have one of the first fight scenes.
Okay, yeah. Not only is it
I'd
pretty
suggest
good, but
everyone to watch it first.
well, you are the Pact of Vengeance, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be a spoiler, but people do need to know, like, this whole revenge mission is for your character, okay? At some point, some dastardly deeds come in, and they want some money, and you're like, fuck all that, and then you guys throw down. But then I believe it's Violent Vixen. Like, it's a very gruesome scene. It's one of those things where I was like, oh my, like,
Yeah.
again, we're not trying to make fun of anything, but like, there's a scene earlier where like a couple squib shots don't go so well. You're like, okay. But then like, this woman literally cuts your throat, and it's like it's sincerely horrific. Right?
Oh, yeah, it was like that's like a rough scene to watch even.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when we were doing that scene, Veronica, who is the woman that slits my throat,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of it, she just goes like, "Can I lick her face?" Like before I slit her throat, and they were like, "Yeah, that's a great idea." So there's like all these takes. Yeah, it's disturbing as hell.
Mhm.
She's good at that. She's good at knowing like how to make things disturbing as hell or funny as hell. And
Mhm.
I just remember like over and over again she was licking my face and I was like, ugh, this is so gross. The
I
show
hope she at
must
least
go on.
I hope she at least had some mouthwash in between takes, or not available that day. Well,
Well, the good news is like the blood that they used was chocolate syrup, so
okay, okay,
yeah,
yeah,
so it was
that's
at
fair.
least a delicious lick of my face.
I took a screenshot of you just laying there in a pool of your own blood, and I was like, "Hey, check out this thing I was a part of on Facebook." And Facebook actually edited the scene of you just face down in a pool of blood. They're
Oh,
like,
really?
"We we'll allow you to post it, Kush, but we're gonna put a little disclaimer on it, and you got to do an extra step to like if you really want to see this photo. It's yeah,
Oh
it's."
man, I've been like waiting to get that on my Facebook and it's never happened. Now I know what to do.
Oh Lord, it's actually one of the first times that Facebook has censored me. They were like, "Yeah, yeah, that's fine. I understood why you did that." But like, and I'm not trying to like hurt anybody's feelings or whatever. But like, I'm in a couple trash posting groups, and I called someone a hoe, called a dude a hoe. Just it was a funny thing to say, and they're like, "You are bullying, Kush Hayes." And I went, "All right, I'll take my 24 hours in jail. All right, fine."
One of my friends, she was just quoting someone. She was like quoting a movie and it was like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. And she was in Facebook jail for like a week.
I know a few people have done that. I find the way to get around that is to actually put quotation marks around it, and then they're like, okay, it's a
Mm,
specific thing, or at least that's what I've discovered. But I also like to follow the Weekly World News, the super cartoony tabloid. It
yep.
has its own Facebook page, and they did a thing about like Bat Boy and Octomom getting together or something, and I just went, Octomom's a hoe. And then he's like, "You're in jail again." I'm like, "No, but
You gotta
most
stop
ridiculous."
calling people hoes.
But they're always hoes, Jenna. They're always hoes.
I know they always are. There's too many hoes out there, really.
These hoes ain't loyal either. Ah, we'll get back to hose later. But as I said, I met you on the West Coast. The your murder scene, for lack of a better phrase, was on the East Coast. What was the vibe between location shots? Like, because at one point we're in the Leo Fong's driveway, and just all of a sudden we just start doing a little capoeira Jenga. Like, hey, we gotta keep the mood going here. Like, there's dudes literally in the street like practicing stunts or whatever. Like, I can't imagine what the neighbors were thinking. Like dudes are full on doing like, well, if I suplex you like this, or like they're. But anyway, what was the vibe on the East Coast versus the West Coast for you?
That was awesome though, and all those guys were there, and like
Mhm,
everyone had their like little martial arts stuff, and it was like
mhm.
I was like, oh my god, I want to talk to them, and I was like sneaking up behind them and like trying to listen in and be like, like, oh, I know capoeira. Okay, I don't know it, but I think it's cool.
I saw the Mark
um,
Dacascos movie when we didn't know how to pronounce his name. He was just that dude.
I once was about to take a capoeira class, but I was too hungover, so I didn't
Oh,
go.
there
So, I like basically know capoeira. I know only the strong, and I almost took a class once. um, the vibe was definitely different because
Mhm,
I've been in California before. I've even worked on like as a PA on a couple movie sets in California, but it had been a while, and because of the pandemic, I hadn't really been traveling, so it was like
mhm.
almost a culture shock just being like on the West Coast.
Okay, please expand on that.
Which is, I mean, it's just like, like I'm like, what palm trees? What are
Hmm.
these?
Hmm. I get
and
that. I get that.
like the whole just seeing like everyone walking around, like everyone's like just a little different, like there's a more like chill vibe in California, I'd say. Like it was always like a perfectly sunny day every
Hmm.
single time, not a cloud in sight. It's just like, where am I? this place is paradise.
Yeah, Burbank in October is it's a good time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So are like people
And
a lot colder on the East Coast or during the East Coast shoot? Like were people just smoking cigarettes, waiting for the next take to happen, or like what?
well, I mean, in the shoot in Erie, it's always like similar people on set. Like there's a lot of the same people that I've worked with on set. So
Okay,
when I go to Erie, which is where we shot, it's like, oh hey, what's up? I haven't seen you in a while. You know, it's like you're meeting up with old friends.
I get that.
Um, Yeah, and so it was like, I was just very excited to get there. Like, oh, I can't wait to see this person. I can't wait to see Malia. I can't wait to see Veronica and Steven, yada yada.
Hmm.
Um, but there's not much to do in Erie,
Okay,
Pennsylvania.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Yeah, which is good because like we were there to work on the movie and whatnot, and we do our things, say hi to people, and I felt very comfortable in that situation because I had done it, before, and I've done it plenty of times. I can ask for acting pointers and whatnot, and I know exactly how one guy, like the guy that I had the fight with, John Calathine, I think his name is. Sorry if
Hmm.
I said it wrong, John. He's a pro wrestler, and
Okay,
he's always like, right before the take, he always goes like, all right, Jenna, go ahead, just lay it on me, just lay it on, like any
nice.
punch you give me, just lay it on me. And so I'm always like, John, I don't want to like punch you in the face, I'm sorry.
Hmm.
So it's always just like this kind of thing where it's like, and go, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hit him hard. And so like it's like I know exactly what to expect when I get there, and I know like all the different personalities that people have. And then when I was in California, it was like I was like, oh my god, there's so many new people, like
Hmm.
there's so many different things going on, like it's such a different atmosphere than in Pennsylvania. So it was definitely different, but it was very welcome. Like, like all those guys, like there's, and then you came in and you were just like, hey, what's up? And started setting stuff up. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm like in a movie.
You talk about you've been a PA and you've been an actress on other projects or whatever. What's your process for getting casted or even auditioning? Like, do you work through a service? Because like I spent $20 and sent a selfie to something called Pact, and I'm always getting emails from them, and they're always like, well, we got something in Mississippi or we got something in Georgia. I'm like, obviously I can't get out there, stupid. But
Yeah.
they occasionally have some stuff out here in the Bay Area. I did get cast as an extra in some Netflix series that was super popular. I don't remember what it was, but then like I got sick the night before and I was like, I don't want to infect. This is pre-COVID still too, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to
Yeah.
get 300 other people sick because I ain't feeling good. But and then they never booked me again. But then to expand on this, I got a casting notice about being in Matrix 4 as an extra, and I was like, that movie is
What?
going to be dog shit. But yes, I would love to be a part of it. And they never got back to me. And then I watched
Ah.
The Matrix 4 and I absolutely saw what they were casting for. And I was like, this is some goddamn bullshit. Okay. Like, there's no reason I could not have been in the scene. Everybody is backlit. You couldn't see my face. Like, I thought, maybe was like, maybe I'm just not biracial enough. I don't know. Like, maybe I couldn't do the dance in the underground caves or whatever. Like,
Is that what
maybe
it
I
was
couldn't wear a
for?
potato sack. No, obviously it doesn't say in the email, but it's 100% that scene in San Francisco where Neo and Trinity are being chased by just zombies, for lack of a better word, and fools are just like waking up and just like, oh, Neo's out there. I gotta throw myself out a window now and try and die. Like, I was like, I could have totally been that guy.
Yeah. Oh
I would
man.
have hit a crash pad. This is some bullshit. What's going on here? But like, so what is your process? Who do you work with, or is it just dumb luck?
The Pennsylvania movie scene is a lot smaller than the California movie scene.
For sure, for
So
sure.
it's like I think I'm friends with a lot of creative people, so people just kind of ask me, and
Okay,
I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. That sounds fun.
nice.
I did audition for two roles once.
Hmm.
Actually, the first one was in high school, and I didn't actually audition, but I did stand in line, and it was for Indiana Jones Crystal Skull,
Oh,
because it was in my hometown, New Haven, Connecticut, that they were
okay.
filming one scene. And my friend was like, "Hey, do you want to go and like audition after school?" And I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, why
So we
not?
waited in, yeah, we waited in line. And then we were like, fuck this," and we just like left. And I would have gotten the role anyways because at that point I was like goth and had like all these different colored hair and stuff, and they wanted like greasers and like cheerleader 1950s kind
Okay.
of people. So I was like, well, I
Right,
wouldn't
right,
have gotten
right.
the role anyways. And then I auditioned for, if you know, like Dragon Ball Z Abridged at all.
So I've
It's
seen the
like,
movie that everyone hates, and then I know of the series, but I know it's over 9,000, and I know
yeah.
Goku versus Superman. So that's the extent of my Dragon Ball Z history.
That's a pretty good history, though.
Cool.
It's like kind of a spoof off of Dragon Ball Z. Actually, the people they basically dub over Dragon Ball Z and like make it funny.
Okay, I like that.
And it was actually like striked by Toei Animation, who made
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, and they were like, "If you continue that, like, we will sue you." So I have no idea who was doing this Dragon Ball. It's another series called GT. They were doing Dragon Ball GT abridged, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like come and audition." And I just sent them a recording of me doing the voice of Goku, and
Okay.
I got the part. And then they were like, "We can't do it anymore." And I was like, "It
Oh,
might be because you're gonna get sued."
that's so disappointing. Like
I know.
I have you listed here, living in New York, maybe Pennsylvania. Why did I think you were a New Jersey girl?
Well, you weren't wrong about all of those things.
Okay.
I was in Connecticut. I was, born and raised in Connecticut. Then I moved to New York. Then I moved to Jersey City,
Okay.
and now I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh,
So
fine.
all of the
Okay.
above.
Okay.
But
Mhm.
I definitely wouldn't call myself a Jersey Goyle
A
for
Joycey
sure.
Goyle. Okay.
That's a whole different set of people over there.
Okay. Well, even though you're not a Jersey girl, have you been watching any of the Miss Marvel on the Disney Plus?
I have not. I don't have Disney Plus.
Okay. Well,
It's
you find a
unfortunate.
friend with a password. Have you watched any
I
of the
did
Disney
see a little
Plus
bit of
series?
Kenobi. Yeah, I
Okay.
saw a little bit of Kenobi on Disney Plus. Back in the day, well, like because I had like a free year kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Hmm.
So when I did, I saw like that's when they came out with like WandaVision
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Loki and the Hawk and the other guy.
Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that one. I always mess that name up. Um,
Well, because the way it ends, then you
WandaVision was
automatically
good.
call it Captain America and the Winter Soldier. You're like, that's not even a
Yeah,
show. So
I really wish they expanded on when they went into that one Captain America. They found that like other Captain America
yeah.
who was like kind of like living in the projects and everything. Like I really wish
Hmm.
they expanded on his character.
I
I thought that
agree.
was a cool setup, but
There's
they didn't
lots
really
of
do
cool.
much.
There's been a lot of cool stuff in these Disney Plus series, but majority of all of them have been just disappointing and underwhelming all at the same time. But Miss Marvel, I would have to say, like Marvel aside, it's the best thing going on Disney Plus right now. It just finished
Really?
its season. It's still a
Okay.
TV show. The worst thing I can say is the least disappointing thing on Disney Plus. Like I actually like enjoyed the character. I enjoyed her supporting cast. I enjoyed like we learned some stuff about like when Pakistan and India like separated. Like some heavy shit went on here. Like I didn't
Oh
even learn this
shit.
in high school. Like it's got a lot of good things going for it. The villain's a little confusing. Maybe there isn't even a villain in it. If we just treat it as an origin story for this character, fucking charming.
Yeah, see, I don't know anything about Miss Marvel, so I was
Nor
like,
did I. Nor did I.
yeah, yeah. So
I liked it a
yeah,
lot
I'll
more
give
than
that a watch.
Captain Marvel.
Okay, is that a different person or is that the same person?
Those are two different people. That was the Brie Larson movie from
Okay,
3 years ago.
that's
Um,
right. Okay.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
feel like I'm sorry, people who like the MCU. I'm sure they're screaming at me right now.
They are not. They are not.
How was Moon Knight?
Moon Knight,
I
again,
didn't see that.
disappointing. It's a
Uh,
very pretty show. Oscar Isaac is good in it. Um, you kind of like where it's going, but then it just peters off, and you're like,
mm,
why did I just invest 6 hours in this? I don't know. I
yeah.
imagine there's going to be a movie with Moon Knight in it. I imagine there's going to be a movie with everybody in this. Miss Marvel's definitely going to be in the Captain Marvel sequel. They even like had that little title card at the end. So,
Okay. So
but
she's like, so Miss Marvel is like a completely different character from Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel is a 16-year-old Pakistani girl from New Jersey, and she is a superhero fanatic. So she idolizes Captain Marvel, the Brie
Hmm.
Larson character, and then all of a sudden she's just burdened with these powers. But instead of just going like, oh, these superhero powers are awful, like, oh, woe is me, like she's like, this is dope. Let's go do some good.
That's actually kind of awesome. That sounds like a good show.
That's great. It's a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I think there's only one episode. I was just like, I could have done without that. But anyway, Jenna, I wish we could do this longer. I feel like we could do this longer, but I got to cut this short. So, JennaMFryer.com for all your Jenna M. Fryer needs. Also, you can find her on Twitter at Zombie Wasabi. It's spelled like how it sounds. And also, you can find her on YouTube and Instagram at zombiefuton.art. Jenna, is there anything else I'm missing? Do you want to plug anything else?
No, that's it. I think you did a good job.
Right
And
on.
thank you for
Thank you.
having me.
Thank you for being a part of this.
Watch
Is
Pact of
in
Vengeance, everybody.
You can find that on the Killer Wolf Films Patreon page for as little as $2 and get so much more out of that. But for Jenna M. Fryer, I've been Kush Hayes. You've been you.
Microdose, 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 yeah, microdose.
From the BosNet family.
You gotta stop calling people hoes.